This is big breaking news. Multiple states are now being warned by the North American Electric Reliability Council, which monitors the power grid, that they could experience potential power and electric grid disruptions starting next week, starting Monday. A major announcement has been made that this could go into effect, and watchdogs for the federal government are warning that this could potentially cause issues. So let's get into all the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos every day, keeping you updated, and it just helps to get these warnings out. So this is what's going on. Is NERC, the North American Electric Reliability Council, has issued this warning on the heels of a Canadian governor saying that they are going to potentially shut off the power for certain states flowing into the United States, all right? And these states that are going to be primarily affected are states like New York, states like Minnesota, and also states like Michigan are going to be affected as well too, the most from this impact, all right? And this is the Ontario Premier Doug Ford, and he has threatened to impose a 25% surcharge on any electricity that's being exported from Canada to these states, Michigan, New York, and Minnesota. And he's also saying, if necessary, his province could entirely halt electricity and energy exports from his province into the United States, right? So pretty wild that they are threatening this. And these three states do produce a lot of their own electricity as well too, right? They can bear the brunt of this, especially if they're still getting energy imports for natural gas and oil, so they can produce this and generate this electricity with our own power plants, all right? But the fact that they are threatening this is big, all right? And the North American Electric Reliability Council has issued a warning and alert for this, all right? This is what Jim Robb, who is NERC's chief executive, told the Financial Times. He said, quote, if some of the saber rattling around, quote, turning off exports occurs, it could create a significant resource adequacy problem for the Canadian provinces that benefit from U.S. exports, as well as the U.S. states along the border that benefit from Canadian imports, right? So the head of NERC, their chief executive, is saying that this could create significant resource adequacy problems for both sides of the border, all right? So pretty extreme that they're threatening to shut off the electricity now. And Canada has had tariffs and price charges on United States goods for decades for certain dairy products and things like that imported into Canada, all right? So these things have been going on for decades, these charges, but to see them happen very suddenly, all right, 25% surcharge is a lot. We could see that could even out to 10 to 20% increase in electricity prices for certain parts of these states that are going to be affected. And it says here that New York is one of the states that is most reliant on Canadian electricity, particularly imports from the Hydro-Quebec and Ontario's Independent Electricity Systems Operator. It says the New York Independent Systems Operator, which manages the state's electrical grid, has emphasized that the U.S. and Canada have one of the most integrated electrical grids in the world. Quote, the reliable and uninterrupted flow of electricity across Canada is critical to protect the health, safety, and welfare of New York citizens and residents across the Northeast United States. This is what the New York Independent Systems Operator stated in response to this threat here, all right? And it's saying that the surcharge could drive up prices in New York as well too, right? Michigan is saying that they could be affected, but they're also saying that they do produce a lot of their own electricity domestically as well too. It says, according to Dan Scripps, chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission, much of the electricity from Ontario flows through Michigan to other states within the Eastern Interconnection, a massive power grid stretching across central Canada and most of the U.S. east of the Rocky Mountains. Major utilities in Michigan, such as DTE Energy and Consumers Energy, generate much of their own power and have long-term contracts with domestic suppliers. All right, so we could still see price increases in Michigan. And it says here that in 2024, NERC also released a report raising concerns about the long-term reliability of Minnesota's electric grid. It says the report classified the state's region as high risk for power shortages, particularly during peak summer and winter seasons. And it says here that Derek Moe, the president of the Minnesota Rural Electric Association, stressed the importance of securing additional energy resources. Quote, "We can't continue to shut down plants and delay the permitting of generation resources that will help shore up Minnesota's reliability," he said in a statement. All right, so they are more worried in places like Minnesota due to them shutting down plants the past decade, right? And this is happening all across the country, where state after state has been shutting down their coal-powered plants, and they haven't been able to replace these sources of energy quick enough. Then they're destroying it, right? They're knocking down power plants left and right every single year in every state, sometimes dozens per state per year, and they're not replacing them with anything adequate. Even if they want to replace it with solar or things along those lines, they're not doing it. And the technology, the capacity is not quite there yet. All right, the storage capacity for batteries, things like that, and also the load generation capacity for starting loads and for heavy loads isn't quite there yet, either for solar. And even if you're on solar for your house, you probably know this, that you can't, a lot of houses that are on solar don't even have AC systems or washers and dryers, things like that. Some do, but it takes a lot more starting power to get these appliances going, and that's something that is harder to get just from batteries, okay? And it's easier to get from coal-fired and natural gas-powered plants. All right, so let me know what you guys think down below. Please just hit it up for me down there to help get these warnings out. And make sure you have your gas tanks filled up, right? Your red tanks. Make sure you have your car tank filled up. Make sure you have your generator ready to go, has an oil change, and it doesn't have old stale gas in it or anything like that. And just make sure you're ready, just in case, because you don't want to get caught in the middle of one of these storms, because this is when it would happen. Power would be cut off, a winter storm hits, everyone's cranking up the heat, and they don't have enough resources for the power generation, right? So could happen. We're still not out of winter yet, at least not where I'm at. It's gonna snow tonight again, and it was snowing a little bit earlier, and it's cold and windy right now. So make sure you got your wood ready for your wood stove, things like that too. We got our wood stove burning in the house, keeping everyone warm while I'm out here freezing, bringing you guys the news. So thank you guys. I hope you have big blessings for your life and your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.